From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 12th, 2025. The remains of two Israeli hostages who were murdered during the October 7th Hamas massacre and whose bodies were abducted to Gaza and held captive there were recovered in a special IDF operation. The IDF said the body of 59-year-old Yair Yaakov, as well as the body of another hostage who were held hostage for 613 days in Gaza, have been recovered in a joint IDF and ISA military operation. Yair, the IDF wrote, was brutally murdered by gunfire while heroically holding the door of the safe room in his home, trying to protect his family. His children, Yagil and Or, were kidnapped along with his partner, Meirav Tal. All of them returned to Israel in November of 2023. Saying of the hostages who were recovered, may their memories be a blessing. The name of the second hostage recovered last night was not permitted for publication as of the time of the taping of this newscast. 53 hostages now remain held captive by Hamas in Gaza for 615 days. IDF spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani said that the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation in charge of distributing humanitarian aid to Gazans, said that Hamas attacked a bus in Gaza last night that was carrying over 24 Palestinian aid workers affiliated with the GHF, and that at least 5 of the workers were killed, several injured, and some may have been taken hostage. The GHF, which is backed by the United States and Israel, noted that the terror group has previously issued threats against its personnel and civilians receiving aid, and it urged the international community to publicly denounce Hamas. The IDF said Israeli troops executed a targeted intelligence-based nighttime operation in Syria and apprehended several Hamas terrorists who had been attempting to advance multiple terror plots, it wrote, against Israeli civilians and IDF troops. The terrorists were taken to Israel for further interrogation. Weapons were also located and confiscated in the operation. And Israel's leaders today expressed their deepest condolences to the leaders and the people of India after the devastating Air India plane crash today. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying, "My thoughts and prayers are with the families of the fallen." President Isaac Herzog writing, "Our thoughts are with the victims' families and all those grieving across India and around the world following the devastating plane crash in Ahmedabad." Well, a meeting of leading European rabbis, which was set to be held next week in Sarajevo, was suddenly canceled by the hotel where it was set to take place. Chief Rabbi of the Conference of European Rabbis, or CER, Pinchas Goldschmidt, said that the cancellation follows an open letter written by the Bosnian Federal Minister of Labor and Social Policy, Adnan Delic, who wrote, "Sarajevo is a city of openness and hospitality, and so should ban the European Jewish event from its city, declaring Israel a genocidal entity." Rabbi Goldschmidt said this last-minute ministerial boycott of Jewish European citizens dedicated purely to promoting Jewish life in Europe and furthering dialogue and democracy across the continent is disgraceful. And while grateful that the Bavarian government is supporting the event's relocation to Munich, the rabbi said, however, a wider question looms. This decision to block a European Jewish conference on European soil is a clear violation of EU commitments and values. He said Bosnia and Herzegovina should certainly be canceled and barred from accession to the European Union following this disgraceful castigation of a European faith group. Sarajevo has proclaimed itself a city of openness and tolerance for anyone, he said, but Jews. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, June the 12th. At 8 o'clock, Jonah Platt speaks with proud Jew and outspoken defender of Israel, Auburn University basketball coach Bruce Pearl. At 9, David Renzer is on L'chaim. At 10, David Harris speaks with Bruce Pearl on defending Israel. At 10:30, it's an encore of the news. And coming up next, leading New York rabbis Joshua Davidson and Chaim Steinmetz explore the Jewish value of pluralism. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 12th, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.